Zaha Hadid is one of the most famous and visionary architects today. Her name is known all around the world due to the fact that she is the only woman to win the Pritzker Prize for Architecture. She has many years in architecture, which is based in a British style and has a portfolio of daring buildings. Zaha Hadid was born in 1950 in Baghdad. She studied architecture at the Architectural Association in London from 1972, and she was awarded with the Diploma Prize in 1977. She then became a partner of the Office for Metropolitan Architecture and also began teaching at the AA with OMA collaborators Rem Koolhaas and Elias Zengelis. Later, she led her own studio at the AA until 1987. Her work encompasses all fields of design, ranging from urban scale through to products, interiors, and furniture.
The Vitra Fire Station. Built in Wheel and Rain as part of the Vitra Furniture Design Company, it was completed in 1994. It was her first built project and the only project by Zaha Hadid to be built before the 21st century. Originally constructed as an on-site working firehouse, however, the Vitra complex is now covered by a nearby fire department, so there is no longer a need for an on-site firehouse. Now it is used to display Vitra's permanent collection of chairs. It is situated on the main road and is an example of deconstructive architecture. The building is relatively small and 90 metres long. It's constructed predominantly from concrete, glass and steel. Contains a lot of asymmetrical shapes and irregular angles. She uses optical tricks by layering transparent materials to diminish strong borders within the structure. She uses a lot of colour in the interior. The exterior has a sharp point increasing in height, invoking the shape of the front of a ship, similar to Le Corbusier's Notre Dame hut. The insertion of the firehouse revitalises the existing factory on the site and is intended to bring a sense of fresh urbanity. Her intention was to attain a sense of urbanism while achieving a link with the structure to the landscape. The structure successfully attempts to bring together the landscape and the factory. The building contains a larger space, originally a garage space, however it now serves as an exhibition gallery for Vitra. Interestingly, it is illuminated from the floor. It is also made up of 3 long, thin rooms intended as working spaces. At points, the walls and ceilings converge into a canopy, forming the entrance where all the spaces meet and overlap. The space seems to slide into each other. The upstairs room cantilevers over the courtyard, acting as a terrace and as the roof for the space below. The stairs seem to unexpectedly appear from a sliver in the ceiling. The interiors are mainly dark green and red, except one gold wall. The north-facing facades are dominated by large frameless windows, an impressive and effective feature due to the curvature of the structure. The use of large facades of glass allow people to feel part of the surroundings when inside the building. This also works the other way around, allowing the modern structure to merge in with the landscape without compromising on form. She manipulates light to allow an agile flow between the separate rooms. The lighting predominantly comes from the edges of the structure, emphasizing the suggestion that the building is made out of walls that eventually become volumes. She uses solid and transparent borders to define the different spaces within the structure, which work effectively due to her use of layering the different spaces. The use of transparent materials acts as an optical trick by diminishing the borders between the outside and the inside. Her intentions were to demonstrate an idea of sucking in urbanity. Breaking down the borders with the use of glass and steel, along with the asymmetrical shapes and angles, allows a structure that potentially could have looked so out of place in its context to successfully merge with the site.
Forcefully individualistic, her nonconformist and uncompromising approach, refusing to bend for budgets, clients, and the status quo, sees Zaha Hadid create works that are experimental, innovative, and vivid. It is no surprise that the seeming inability to concede has seen her struggle in her early career to get any buildings built, the Vitra Fire Station being her only completed work before the year 2000. Zaha Hadid's early work was therefore largely theoretical, characterised by beautiful, striking, and engaging works and visions of the future that could have been. After over 20 years in practice, Zaha Hadid was beginning to create a reputation for what she hadn't built rather than for what she had. This reputation was epitomised in the design of the Cardiff Bay Opera House. After being picked from over 250 architects, her work hit difficulties with financing after the Millennium Commission, the body bankrolling the project, condemned it as not economically viable, and it failed to secure private funding after being publicly criticised by the media. A second competition was run and another architect was picked for the scheme.